Hello, and welcome back to the show! Before we get started, make sure you like, share, and leave a comment at the end of the video. And if you like the show and want more, make sure you check out our Patreon, where you can access content like behind-the-scenes vlogs, previews for up-and-coming projects, gaming sessions, and exclusive bonus episodes. Also, make sure you check out our Etsy shop for merch. We have plenty of shirts, mugs, and even stickers. And lastly, if you want to follow us elsewhere, look for @RyanPodsFunny on all other platforms. Now on with the show. Hello, and welcome back to Reydar, the podcast with one goal, to be best friends by the end of the episode. Today we have Lisa Chinnoux, a longtime comedian and host from the Covina Chatterbox, one of the original group's rotating hosts.
Sure. We'll say that.
I think.
First female hosts.
Hell yeah.
Me and Julia.
Hell yeah.
That's what's up. No, that's not true. I made that up, but it would be fun. I think maybe we're the first two female hosts together. Possibly.
Maybe. And that's something. Do you have a best friend already? Is it Julia?
Yeah.
Oh.
I would say it's Julia. I don't know if she would say it's me, but
we'll find out today. This is a fun fact that I don't think we've talked about before. We were born in the same hometown.
You and I
think so.
In El Paso?
Yeah.
What hospital?
I think its name has changed since then, but I was born in like the general hospital.
Okay. I don't remember mine, so
Yeah.
I was like, whatever he says, I'm going to say me too.
Yeah, I remember like so many facts about my birthday. There's a lot of, not weird facts, just specific ones. Like, I was my mom's third kid, and they did not believe her.
Whoa, well, that's very El Paso.
And yeah, she rolled in and she was like, I'm having my baby. And they were like, you're weeks early. That doesn't make sense. And they fought her for like an hour.
I was switched at birth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Did they find you?
They did.
Okay.
They did. I mean, according to them, they did. I don't know. Yeah, my mom, they brought her like a boy, and she was like, I had a girl. And the nurse was like real rude to her about it. Like, okay, like we get, sometimes pregnancy causes like your brain to flood with a lot of different chemicals. And my mom was like, I had a girl. And then they like looked at the tags, and the woman was like, and like took the baby, and like, yeah.
I think it's so
funny, dude. That's very
the gaslighting the pregnant woman.
I wonder
very
how many people they've done that without realizing that they made that mistake.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's up as specific, but I'm pretty sure there's like a article, like statistics on that.
Like
from
people being switched at birth?
Yeah, like from the 80s and 90s, it happened a lot more frequently than it should have.
Yeah, I'm sure because they didn't have like the digital technology we have now. But also El Paso medical system, I have been there recently, and I can say, they are lacking in some things there. And they have like a medical teaching school. I'm like, you guys need to step it up. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's crazy out
That's
there.
funny. That's like the definition of not caring about them after they're born. They're like, I don't know which one it is. I don't know. Just give it a bracelet.
Yeah, whatever.
Lady, it's a baby. Just take it.
Yeah.
I
wonder if you like stay connected to like if you have the same parental child connection if you're switched at birth.
I imagine that you do, just because I watch a lot of nature stuff, which is all also doctored and not real. But like, you see a wolf grow up with bears or whatever, and it's like also fine.
Right.
So I think probably as long as the person as long as you have skin to skin contact, you're being fed and loved and not abused. I think likely you'd be okay.
Probably okay.
Yeah. For going off animal rules, I think if you make it past the urge to eat them, you're good.
Right. I wonder if there's if you just know something's off your whole life. You know what I mean?
Well, I have that, so maybe I never found my family.
They just brought a different baby. They just brought them a different baby.
I also look different than all my family, so I think for me it's always been a thing where I'm like, oh, it's just I probably look a little bit more like my dad or something, but it's like all of my family has dark, thick hair and just they're all tall and thin, and I'm like, okay, my brother always telling me I'm adopted kind of makes sense.
Right. That's hilarious.
I had moments like that because, I'm the only one of my 4 brothers that's officially been diagnosed with autism, but we suspect that at least 2 of them might also, but we don't know because they don't want to know. And then it was like stuff like, my dad on his side of the family, there's a like distant great aunt who's French, so he has a recessive gene of like bluish green eyes. He has it, and it passed us, but they have like huge flecks of green in their eyes, and I didn't. I was the only one that had solid brown.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like small stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
genetics are crazy, and I don't like talking about it too much in today's climate.
Right.
Because people
It
are
gets-
taking
yeah.
it way too crazy.
Yeah.
It's getting at. I was watching. So I've been watching a lot of daytime television lately. And I saw this ad for a men's supplement that's supposed to increase like hormone called Nugenics.
Ew.
Yeah.
Why would you? Ew, that's real gross.
And it's like they didn't do that on accident. It's
No,
so
they didn't do that on accident.
It's kinda
crazy. They're like peak human performance. I'm like, we know what you're saying, you son
Right,
of a
right.
bitch. Gross.
Ew. Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
I feel like I'm. One second. I feel like I'm slouching. Yeah, it was crazy. I specifically, I'm, as an autistic, we're kind of sensitive to the topic of eugenics.
Of
'cause
course.
a lot of that history is like where stuff like high functioning, low functioning comes from.
Yeah. No, it's so gross. Also, like, obviously the Holocaust and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's been bad
Right.
in the past.
And in the future.
Yeah, looks like it's going that way.
Yeah.
Were you in El Paso long? Or you just born there?
I don't remember a lot of it. We moved when I was about 3.
Wow,
Or like about to
lucky
turn
you.
3.
But you remember some of it.
I remember some of it, and we would
Lots
like
of brown.
my
Oh, yeah.
dad. Sorry.
The buildings, everything's dirt color.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very like in movies when they want to make a place look Mexican, they have like a yellow tint.
Right.
It does have that vibe.
Oh, it does. Like
But it's because
sepia?
it's not like because of the sun is different. It's like all the buildings are tan.
Yeah, everything's burnt from the sun.
It's like burnt sienna. Everything is the special crayon box color.
I
That's
also think it's because there's constantly like dust kicked up in the air.
For
And so
sure.
if you take a photo, it's like that tone.
Yeah.
sepia.
Yeah.
I my family lives in like rural part of Texas, and when we go, it just feels like I'm in Riverside the whole time.
I could do that.
You got a dog on Riverside, dude. You had to jab that in there. I don't think I've ever been to Riverside, so I won't
Really?
comment.
It's really nice. I love Riverside.
Visibly, it looks nice.
Right.
They also have like this franchise of puppy stores. Like it's not a pet store. It's not a shelter. They only sell
Puppies.
purebred puppies.
Yeah. I've seen those kind of stores before.
Is it cute or is it bad?
No, it's adorable.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
It's absolutely
Okay.
adorable.
All right.
What's the word? Ethically, it's technically, frowned upon. But it's very adorable.
So,
It's
like-
literally just an entire room of puppies clawing at you because they want to go home.
I can't say no to that.
Puppies is the only time I'm okay with eugenics.
Yikes.
breed the best ones. Dude. Breed the best ones.
Mix them all.
Yeah,
Mix
yeah.
them all. I want that weird little tongue sticking out,
Oh, yeah,
floofy
yeah,
little
yeah.
ears.
When a dog has his tongue sticking out like that, it's all goofy looking, dude. I'm like, it's so natural. It's just a natural thing that makes them look so silly.
Yeah, and you want to protect it.
Yeah, I know. It's a condition, right?
I don't know. I watched something about dogs and like, some of those like bulldogs, they have those smushy faces and the wrinkles.
Yeah.
And that developed because they were bullfighting dogs and like the blood that would trickle down their faces to keep it from going in their eyes.
Oh.
So like some of this stuff I don't remember some of the other ones, but it was, duck hunting dogs had certain
Yeah.
traits
Right.
or whatever. And so I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting that those things were like, before they were pets or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
And then
they
there's
were.
like the weird subgroup of like small, long dogs,
Yeah.
like dachshunds, corgis. There's a Greek one that looks like a Labrador, but it's like short.
I don't know that.
There's a lot of people call them forever puppies.
Those are like dogs that dig, right? They're like burrowing dogs, the long ones.
I think so, yeah.
They
Yeah.
like get rodents and stuff out the dirt.
I also feel like some of them were just meant to be cute. Like the little, I have a Havanese, and that's like the little Prince lapdog. Like
Right.
they were just meant to be like, a little.
Well, I feel like they got cute for food, right?
Right,
They were
right,
like,
yeah.
They learned that they could be nice.
There's a distinct difference in the muscle structure of a dog versus a wolf,
Right.
where their eyebrows naturally form like a pout, and it only works if you look straight up. If you look at them to the side, their face is normal.
I was thinking about that like buff Doge, that meme of the dog that's buff. Yeah. He said the muscle structure of a dog and a wolf.
It's funny to think about because I don't know if it's meant to be like I don't know if the dog knows it's doing it, because that's the funny thing about it is it only looks like he's pouting if you look at him face forward. If you look at him from the
I don't
side.
think they know. I mean, my dog. I don't know if you have a dog, but my dog's constantly like, treats, please. So like, I don't know if he like knows his face does that, but like he knows he's doing it. You know what I mean?
Right. The puppy dog eyes doesn't come from nowhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hell yeah.
What else? I think I have a thing for like ugly dogs. Like if I, perfect circumstance, home and financial wise, I'd buy like 3 different. I'd buy a boxer, a bulldog, and a pug.
You think those are ugly dogs?
I think most people think they're ugly. I
Really?
like them.
I think they're cute, especially like a boxer.
I
Yeah,
love boxers.
boxers are like.
Except when they yawn, it's creepy. Their eyes go opposite directions.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
To me, a cute dog is like a classic lab puppy. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
A classic lab puppy, cute, goddamn cute dog.
I like a fluffy dog. I like my dog is like I said, a Havanese, so that if that gives you, he's like a teddy bear,
Right.
which is very cute, very small.
Right.
I also like big dogs. I'm having an issue right now in my neighborhood because one of my neighbors can't control her dog, and I keep calling her a bitch. It's kind of my issue, but
It's like the dog's going crazy.
My dog was attacked recently, and my neighbor just has she like won't be cool about it or whatever, and she clearly doesn't have control of this giant dog, and I'm like, I love that kind of dog, but like the owner,
Yeah, I always say there's people that like dogs, and then there's dog people. And you can tell the difference by like whether or not the dog knows its own name.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, like I used to, for a while, my brother's dog, I was like long-term babysitting for him. And I would walk him every day, and there was this one house that I would forget about because they weren't always home, but when they were home, they let their dog run on a leash. They didn't teach him commands. He didn't know his own name, and he was like a 2-year-old dog. So he was like those are his habits now. But the worst part of it was they didn't want to have to like watch him. Like they gave him a leash that was so long that he could make it to the street past the sidewalk, and it was just so they could legally say that he was on a leash.
That's so abusive.
Yeah.
That's so sad. Take care of your pets. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like animals more than people. I'm one of those annoying people. So, I'm always like, just why do you have a dog then?
Yeah.
For pictures or something? I don't know.
Man's best friend,
Yeah.
But that's what we're doing. We're trying to make best friends here.
Hell yeah.
Let's
That's
get to
what's
them
up.
cards, dude. Let's get to them
We're gonna
cards.
get into these cards.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
gonna pull one at random. What popular tourist spot disappointed you? Well, this is kind of relevant because you just came back from Japan, right?
Yeah, I did.
Is there something you heard a lot about and then you saw it and you're like, meh?
Gosh, in Japan, everything kind of blew me away. I do feel like, I guess there specifically, some of the temples and shrines are crowded with tourists, and it takes away from some of the, serenity and peaceful vibes you want to get from like a shrine.
Right.
And it tends to always be, English speaking people who are being loud and disruptive. And so it makes you feel bad about yourself being there and everything.
Right.
But I wouldn't say that's the shrine's fault. And then, what didn't blow me away? Let me think. God,
I mean, Japan's pretty cool, I hear.
Japan's awesome. So like I can't think of anything in Japan. I'm just trying to think in general if there was something that like I went to, and I feel like I have such eyes of wonder for the world. Maybe something like where I'm just like, wow, Santa Monica Pier is so beautiful, you know? It's like, what are you talking about? It's a Ferris wheel, you loser. Maybe something like, but I love Fisherman's Wharf too. Maybe I this is the hardest question. I'm like, I like City Walk. I like everything.
No, I get it though, because I'm like that too. Like I like doing stuff.
Spit out famous spots, and you tell us like a rating, like 1 through 5.
You know, I went to. I'll say this, and then you can. I can do 1 through 5. I went to. I was very young, and I went to Europe with my family, and my parents obviously wanted to take us to see the Mona Lisa. And I was and you know, my whole life growing up, my name being Lisa, it was always the thing people would say, oh, like the Mona Lisa or whatever. And it's like, oh, please, you know. And I was very surprised. It is very small, and that, again, is just crowded with people, and you don't really get to experience it as art, which I think often, visual art often requires a little bit of quiet or solitude or something to like take in, or at least for my brain it does. Yeah. So I was a little bit disappointed in that.
I've actually heard that's like a pretty like underwhelming view or like visit.
There's so many other beautiful artworks around it too that it's like, well, that isn't the one that spoke to me. Though I'm sure if you were alone in a room with it and you could feel like the eyes moving and all of that stuff, you would.
Yeah. I think it's like the lore behind it that makes it special.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Yeah.
Apparently, it's not done.
It's not done. It's got like pencil. You can see pencil markings from his like previous sketches.
Yeah,
Imagine it was a practice. Like there's a better one out there and nobody's found it.
Yeah. I wonder how many times that's happened with the artists, to them being just like, this is trash, and like tearing their thing up. Yeah.
I mean, think about like, how many
classic
jokes you've tried and just been like, nah, and like, you know, it could be really funny, and you're just in front of the wrong people or something. And
I think that every time I do stand up.
But it blows your confidence away.
No, it really does. It really does.
Yeah.
I've had some jokes like that. Like, I have this joke about Jesus that I have to pay attention where I am to tell it.
Oh, yeah. Well, anything, yeah. You know, that's one thing about Japan, expat comedy. Like, I didn't feel at all like anything that I said would make people go like, like, it doesn't matter. And I don't mean that in a Joe Rogan, like, say the F word or R word way. I just mean, like, you could bring up world topics. You could bring up anything. And people were, like, down to be playful, wait for the joke. There was no sense of, like, that might offend someone, which I think is a very American thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is. It is for sure.
Yeah.
American stuff is very big on like showing that you're noble or showing that you're
powerful,
clean. Yeah.
Clean. Have you ever done a clean show? Like been asked to do a clean show?
I do all the time. People do this to me all the time, and I go, "What did you see that made you think that I was the one for this?" And I can do it. It's not my, they aren't my best jokes, but I can do it. But I always just wonder, like, where'd you find me? Why? There isn't a thing online of me that doesn't say fuck in the first 12 seconds,
Yeah, I used to get that a lot. My situation, I think it's because of my voice. When I first started out, people assumed that I'm like, I've had people who DM me and they're like, I'm so glad you're like central and you don't care about this and that. I'm like, what gave you that idea?
Oh, that's crazy.
And it's like, because my first jokes were about me being autistic. I'm like, you don't think that has political backing behind it? Like, have you not heard of eugenics referenced to before? Yeah. And it's like, I don't fight people in my audience, but I explain to people is like, whatever you're seeing is like the shortest bit of my whole existence, because it's like a 30-second clip on TikTok before they let you do a whole 10 minutes.
I struggle with on stage telling people where I stand. I think it's like, maybe it's like a pride thing, or like where I think art is, where I'll say something like, I'm a feminist and I think that has political meaning, but I never say like, I didn't vote for Donald Trump or I don't like him. And like, I think people, if you don't spell it out for them, they read whatever they want. They fill in the blanks wherever they want. And so I'm like really working on moving towards that and not letting things go to the imagination. And like saying who I am, it's scary, you know. I mean, you know, it's not scary, like I'm not scared or whatever, but it's a big step. And so I think that's like, you know, another thing about stand-up is like, I've been doing a lot of the same material for a long time, going to different cities all over the country, you know, Tokyo, etc. And the things that you talk about on stage is what people are going to come up to you after and talk to you about. So like, if you don't want to talk about those topics with people, you need to start writing material about the shit you do want to talk about. Right. And if you don't want people thinking you're middle of the road or whatever, like, start fucking saying you're not, so that when people come up to you, they know what to expect. Right. Otherwise, you're going to end up with, you know, what I get, which is like, your husband sounds so... I don't want to talk about him. You know? Why'd you talk about him for a half hour then, bitch?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. There's some jokes that, like, I did start changing. I didn't become more, like, apparent with where I stand on certain things, but I did, like, curate a lot of my jokes. I cut a lot of jokes that, like, weren't making me comfortable because of people's reaction. Like, so, as I've said, most of my earlier jokes were about me being autistic. One of them, when I wrote it, I knew that people would like it because it was very, like, internet meme-y. Meme-ish, not mem, you know.
It's all me with you.
It was, I think that as an autistic person, my my spirit animal is a house cat. And I did this whole comparison where it's like, I think autistic people are a lot like house cats, you know. They don't like big crowds. They'll ignore you unless they want something. And then, so this is the part that gets the huge laugh at the end, where it's like, if two of them are in the same room, eventually one bites the other. And it's not that it's not funny, but it carried this connotation that I've had to, like, acknowledge that I don't find comfortable of this idea people have of autism in their heads. And so it's jokes like that I used to write a lot that I've since... I found myself falling into that routine that I think a lot of people fall into, where they do jokes that they think will work, not jokes that they want to enjoy doing.
Yeah. And I think that joke is, to me, it's funny because it's silly.
Yeah.
And that's why you wrote it. Not because you think autistic people bite each other.
Yeah.
But, like, that's people do take it that way and go, like, they are, when they get together, they are weird. And you're like, that's not what I fucking meant.
You said that you've done a bunch of clean shows.
Yeah.
Like, how do you like that? How are the audiences?
I love every show, despite what you see on stage.
Right now, I feel that.
I do. I think it is a challenge for me. It's not my strength. The hardest thing for me is when there are kids, and not because of the content, because I don't care. But I just think I talk about, like, having a job and a husband, and it's like, this kid doesn't know anything about that. Like, this is just going to be, like, boring old lady shit, you know? And so I have some jokes about, like, dogs and stuff. I'll bring out that kind of stuff. But I think the most fun part of a clean show, or, like, the same as performing internationally, where, like, in Japan they don't smoke weed or whatever, is when you get in halfway through a bit and you go, like, oh no, the end of this bit, like, I can't say the end of this, like, I can't say the punchline. And so you have to, like, rewrite it quickly in your head. And that to me is, like, the most sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you go, like, wow, that was easy to clean up, you know, and people laughed. And then it's like, wow, I haven't been, like, pushing myself to write this kind of material. I haven't been pushing myself to do this kind of thing.
I've been kind of interested in clean shows. I think I would like to do some, because that seems like a fun challenge.
Yeah,
to, like,
it's awesome.
Write your jokes clean.
Totally. Yeah. And also, like, be silly and make it fun, you know?
Because I have, like, very conservative family, and, like, they do not know about my comedy stuff, and I, like, don't mention it to them at all. And so, but it would be nice to, like, have them be able to see some of my jokes or hear some of the stuff and be more comfortable with them listening to it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really... So, when I was first starting out, cleaner shows were harder because I had jokes where I said a lot of curse words. That was pretty much it. And I do think sometimes, like, I don't always understand what the host means when they tell me it's a clean show. Like, what is the extent of that?
Family friendly.
Because some people mean just don't cuss, and then some people mean like don't talk about sex, don't talk about drugs.
Yeah.
There's children present.
Usually, if
Yeah.
someone says it's a clean show, then I take that to mean it's family friendly, and like
Yeah.
you don't want to talk about dark themes. You
'Cause
don't
I
want to
did
talk
one
about
recently-
adult material.
Yeah, because I did one a couple months ago. Not a couple weeks ago. I was at a winery, so it's like kids are literally not allowed in there. So it was just, but it was still a
clean show.
Yeah.
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 and it really just meant like not to cuss. I
Right.
think.
Sometimes clean means it's a conservative audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of frustrating to me because I'm like, you're not the only clean. Like, you're not clean people.
Right,
you're
right, right.
you're also bloody. So let's let's be real here.
Right.
But sometimes that's like a way that they trick you into saying like, just so you know, like they're tight or whatever.
Right, right.
And I also just think, it's always okay to ask when you get there, is it, no F words? How clean?
Yeah.
Can I talk about drugs? Can I talk about sex? Oftentimes they say no graphic sex.
Right.
So it's like you can say I was sleeping with this person and that's fine.
Implicative words.
Yeah.
And that's how this show was. Where it's like I have one joke where I talk about when I started getting popular on TikTok, I made it harder to just like follow hot people because
Right.
they like followed me back.
Yeah. That's such a funny bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you do it.
So we move on to that next question, brother.
Yeah,
Hit that meter,
such
dude.
a
Hit that meter.
terrible time with segues. Prepare yourself for amazing flavors and amazing deals because this is Legacy Teas and Spices 10th Anniversary Super Sale. And this year we're going big. For the entire month of September, every order will enjoy price markdowns on select items, $10 off your entire purchase, and with every order, a free bag of tea. My favorite is vanilla lemongrass. So be sure to check out legacyteasandspices.com and use coupon code 10YEAR. Sale ends September 30th. What's the fastest way to your heart?
Oh, wow. Gosh, there's so many easy ways in. Let's see. Follow me on Instagram. No, I'm kidding. I think the fastest way for me is if you like my comedy. I mean, I think that's every comedian, but a genuine, and also, no, you know what it is? If you like the jokes that I like that I do,
I get that.
then I go, I love this person.
Yeah. I'm like,
so-
you get me.
Yeah, you're artsy, you're cool.
Yeah.
I struggle with people who are like me. And so, I always bristle at someone whose name is Lisa or like anything where I go like, we're wearing the same thing. Like, so I've really tried to work on that. And so right now, if you're really trying to get in my heart and soul right now, maybe mimic me a little bit and let me work on that with you.
Okay, hell yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if it means like romantically. I've actually had issues with that where I tend to, and I found out it's actually an autistic thing where affection is misinterpreted in my brain. Like I don't know how, what the intention behind someone's affection might be. Like it might just be, genuine camaraderie, and it might be that they're flirting and I can't tell the difference. And so it leads to a lot of situations.
Is it autism or are you just a boy?
Everybody. I would say everybody.
Oh, really?
Well, here's what I mean is like as a kid, it was a thing where I was crushing on people, and I didn't find out till later that I was like making older friends that I used to have uncomfortable with it, and yeah, and it's a thing I had to learn, and I had to like change by myself to intentionally be aware of myself, and then as an adult, it turned into a thing where like there was people legitimately trying to ask me out, and I didn't pick up on it at all.
Interesting. I think that the more honest we are about what our intentions are with people, I think the better life is. I feel like leaving, as I've just said, I don't really tell people where I stand. But I do think that we should try. I do think that that's something, and I don't think that is necessarily like about autistic people or not. I just feel like to some extent, at some point you have to be like, hey, we're friends, right? Do you mind if I do this thing or whatever? Are you flirting with me? I feel like it's not that I mean, don't make it. However, I just said it sounded so accusatory, but like,
Yeah,
are we flirting or whatever? I feel like that's so fine. Like, and it's okay for somebody to say no. I feel like that's also the struggle as a woman is the guy asks you, are we flirting? Right. And you go, no. And they go, good, because you're a fat bitch anyway, you fucking smelly cunt or whatever.
Jesus.
And you're like, okay, God, like, I was kind of flirting with you. No. Now I am. No.
I was just thinking, like, if I was flirting with somebody, but like subtly, and they were like, are you flirting with me? I'd be like, no, of course not, I'm not.
I just feel like if we could all be a little bit more honest and take grace from people and know that just because if they say no, that doesn't mean they're hurt. They mean you harm or whatever. Yeah. It's just that I didn't mean that or whatever. It's so hard to read people.
Yeah, that's
definitely. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's definitely a practice or a life choice that I try to practice, especially because I specifically struggle with reading people. But I think it is hard to maintain that. Like I can do that as much as I think I need to, but it's still always on the other person to reciprocate. Even that level, like I've been talking about a lot more lately, but the whole reason for this idea was, I lost a best friend because of it, because she was a woman. She started dating someone new, and they were not comfortable with the dynamic that her and I had, and it's not the first time it's the most recent time in a long time, but it's like, that's something that I had, because I've always had this thing where, like, if it's this interest that I have, I tend to have a lot more male friends for some reason, like in comedy and art and stuff. But in like social engagement, like, most of my friends have always been women and female presenting, like, non-binary people. And so it's like a weird dynamic.
I think as you get older, the male-female relationships become more difficult. And so you have to put a different kind of energy. Because I remember being a teenager and hearing all that stuff, like, well, men and women can't be friends and all, which is also not true. Yeah. But I remember being like, that's stupid, but it does take a different kind of effort. And, making sure that we know, in what ways it's okay to touch each other and that kind of thing. And I'm not talking about sexually, but like at a movie or at a thing. Yeah. And so I think some of that stuff does have to be more cut and dried. I do think for me now, not to go therapy, and I'm not going to put this on you. I'm going to say for me, I don't know if you feel the same way. Comedy in some regard is like testing that on a macro level where you go like, I do know how to like read a room, right? Like I can tell what people want out of me or what they don't. And of course, sometimes you fail at it, but you get to learn those things in a very controlled way. That's like, I have a microphone. I'm higher up than you. You have like all of these little cues that go like, listen to me, let me be in charge, let me lead the thing, and I'll show you if I can lead you, right? Yeah. Right. But then when it becomes a one-on-one situation or like a close small group thing, it's like, do I know how to do this? Do I know how to like talk to people? Yeah. Can I read what they're can I pick up what they're throwing down? And sometimes it's so much harder. And so for me, I think, sometimes it's like, because you don't have all of the extra stuff. Right. You don't get to lead the way. You have to you have to bat it back and forth. It's very difficult.
No, I definitely identify with that, especially like, I know I keep saying this, but as an autistic person, masking is such a huge thing for me because I think that I was someone who heavily masked for so long, and then I started doing stand-up, and stand-up, like you were saying, actually like helped me learn to socialize better because it was a space where I could like not say practice masking, but like practice talking with more like confidence and relaxation without people interrupting necessarily. And that helped me actually in regular public speaking. Like I've said this a lot before, where until I started doing stand-up, I had such severe social anxiety that like I could not order for myself in public, or like, I took the bus a lot and I wouldn't make eye contact. I wouldn't talk to anybody. Whoa. I would just like scan and go to the back and sit by myself if I could. And then I started doing stand-up, and now I'm like, I'm able to like hit people up about shows and stuff and conversate and start conversations without hesitation. I still feel anxious, but I've learned to not let that stop me.
I've never seen that version of you.
What do you mean?
The one that gets on the bus and can't make eye contact. Like, I've never seen that. I've only known you since doing stand-up, obviously. But I do think that, you know, it is an experimental state, especially open mics and stuff. There are things that, I mean, people don't know what you're working on. When I go, I wrote 3 minutes of garbage. But you know what I'm here to do is work on looking people in the eye.
Right.
And nobody knows that. They're judging your jokes. But it's like, we all have those things. If you haven't done stand up in a month, you get on stage to learn how to take the mic out of the stand again. It's not to like, not to tell the jokes you remember or whatever.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
That 2023, I was on a huge hiatus. You know, personal stuff was happening. I was moving a lot. So I wasn't doing anything. And then 2024 was just spent trying to like relearn how to do stuff. Yeah. Even this past year, I hadn't done anything between March and July, and then I started doing stuff at the end of July, and the first 2 shows I did, I bombed hard. And that's also, and not to be, you know, come off like an asshole, but I don't bomb that often.
No, you don't. I can confirm.
So, and it's like, not that it hits harder, but it is such a, you know, everyone has the same feeling. Bombing sucks. It's like, it's depressing. And especially like whether or not I do well, I'm getting anxious. I don't know if you remember. I only remember because you were the first person to like the tweet. One of the first Chatterbox shows I did, I think I did well, and I tweeted because people usually come up after. People usually come up to me after I go on stage. So I sent a massive tweet to everyone that followed me. I was like, hey, if you see me and I'm crying, I just need a minute. Like, I'm having a panic attack. I'm fine. And it was like stuff like that where I kind of lost my train of thought for a second.
Bombing.
Yeah.
Having a panic attack afterwards. Yeah.
So I have that even when I do well. And so like when I bomb, like all I want to do is go home and go to sleep, you know?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm very harsh on myself. I think if you think I'm harsh on other people's comedy, you should see what I say about myself. I write notes after every show, and the things I say to myself, I go, why do you think that? I think, you know, having a bad set, like, I'll cry for hours. And it'll be like something that means absolutely nothing, you know? But it's just like, I thought I had it or whatever, you know? And it just, you know, it makes you question things. It makes you, but I also think there's nothing wrong with feeling strongly about your art. No. I think the thing for me with stand-up right now that's actually hard is that there was some sort of reset happened during COVID where everybody's doing a fucking fist bump to bring you up now. And I never get it right. I'm always going for shake. That's so and it's funny. Like, dude, please, can we just decide and just say it's this? I'm so tired of having to look like a loser the second I get on stage.
You know what?
That's so funny.
It's funny that you say that. I don't always like physical contact, so I usually fist bump. But what I've started doing, because that happened to me too, is I let them go first. And sometimes it's awkward because it looks like I'm just standing there, but I always let them approach the hand first, so I know which one. Yeah. Only when I'm like approaching the stage, because I've noticed I feel like a host usually will always like try to make the transition happen.
Sometimes a comic you're not close to will go for a hug.
Oh,
and I go, crazy. We are friends, you know, but I'm like,
hug is
not
crazy.
Like that.
Get on the stage.
Come on.
When we're getting on the
certain
stage.
people, if it's a headliner you're opening for or something that it's like a big gratitude thing, I understand. Okay. But like certain people, but it's like at a showcase, you're gonna hug me right now.
Yeah, that's.
Okay. I even think like the dap with the mic transfer situation is crazy. Like you're making me do things with 2 hands. Like
I agree.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like, I know there was like 2 guys that used to come to the Chatterbox a lot, and they would always try to hug me or try to like that bro-y, like grasp into a hug. Right. And I was like, I don't know you enough for this to be a thing. And it was a thing where like, I couldn't just nod at them. That's how they said hi to me every time. And if I try to walk past them and I was like, sup, they'd be like, nope. and they tug on me.
I
I'm
will
like,
say
"Don't do
sometimes
that."
I do that shoulder thing purely for awkwardness, though. Purely just to be like, oh, this is.
I think it looks cool when both people go for it at once, but like we got to be on the same page. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show Big Brother, but
haven't.
there's
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you know how when they're going into the DR, they have like certain little moves they'll do together.
Right.
I'm like, they plan that out, guys.
Right.
It's not natural. Like, let's figure out what we're gonna do if you want to play.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing happens with like touchdown dances or whatever. It's not like we're improvising. Like, come on, we're performers. Like,
He stood in
plan
front
it
of a mirror.
out.
He stood in front of a mirror.
Practice.
Yeah, they get flagged if they improvise because they always do something they're not supposed to.
Right.
Yeah,
That's the
Censorship.
extent of my knowledge of football.
I hear about the dances.
That's funny.
No, yeah. Oh, because you were talking about baseball. Like, that was the funny thing is like I used to follow sports a lot, and then I realized like I was just trying to like be close to my dad because he was a trucker, so you know he was only home like once a month because he would go cross country.
That's so sweet.
I couldn't remember a single baseball player's name. We went to baseball games like every time he was in town. For the month of my birthday when I was 14, he took me to like 3 games. Don't remember shit.
Oh my god.
I hadn't been to a baseball game in like 5 or 6 years, and I just went to the Angel game like a couple weeks ago by myself.
Sorry, just vomited a little.
I'm sorry. It was a free ticket. My friend was like,
okay.
I can't go. And he was like, you want to go? And I was like, yeah. And I just went by myself, and it was awful. It was so boring.
Oh
I was
my
bored out of my mind.
I love it. I love Angel Stadium too. I don't like the Angels, but I like their stadium.
I don't follow sports, so I have no idea what was, of any of the players. Everyone's going crazy for
Trout. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm his good luck charm. That's why I don't like going to their games.
Okay.
And he always does real well when I'm there trying for him to lose.
That's so funny.
But I love baseball, and it's also new. But I think for me, it's formulaic. There are rules. I really appreciate that. It's not, I mean, you can get surprised, but you know, it's not like that. And I do think the thing for me, and this is probably everything I like, but it's about how you deal with the losses. It's about how you come back, how you play the next game. There's 160 something games a season, and so it's like you don't get to, like I said, you don't get to. You can break down. Sure, you have a bad set, you can break down in the car, but if you have another set in an hour, you got to get shit together. Yeah. And so it's like, what do? I turn on "All I Do Is Win" by DJ Khaled, and like I scream that shit in my car.
Hell yeah,
like,
dude.
you have to, you have to trick yourself, convince yourself that you're gonna do great, and they have to do that, over a season and everything. And so I think for me, that's what's interesting. You get to watch a lot of emotion happen out of players. And they're hot. That's the main thing.
Right. Of course.
Which, I don't know. I don't always get that.
Yeah.
It's the pants. I don't find the pants attractive.
I find the
What?
pants attractive.
I feel like that's like the main
I don't know
deal,
what
right?
it is. It was like this.
They're
I don't
like
think
tight.
that
They're like super tight.
pants.
Yeah.
what do you
Yeah.
call it?
They're like tight.
Complimentary? No, that's not the word. What's the word I'm thinking of? Now I'm stuck on that.
Like it's not flattering.
Yeah, there's a word there that I'm not remembering, but it's fine.
I think like it doesn't compliment them. Is that what you
Yeah,
mean? Yeah.
it's the closest I can think of.
I think they look great. I mean, I have no complaints. I mean,
I
there
will
are a
say-
couple guys where I'm like, hey, fucking see a stylist. But, and I do mean like your hair and your face and stuff. I don't mean that you have to wear a uniform, but,
Like a different uniform.
well, just, I'm like, do something about your ugly.
Right.
But
I do miss the old Dodger blue. I've seen the new suits. They're fine.
I have no.
I
I think they
idea.
look great. I have no complaints.
Yeah,
I would say 90% of the team could hang out anytime. Yeah.
I do think I'd be more into it. I haven't gotten into it yet because I don't know what channel it's on. I'm pretty sure you have to pay for it. It's like pay-per-view or something. But we're talking about the like wacky baseball.
Oh, yeah.
I called it Banana Ball because I thought it was called, and it's like, no, Bananas are just one of the teams.
It's
I
like
don't
banana
know.
something. What are they?
Savannah Bananas.
Savannah Bananas.
And there's
yeah.
a bad guy team too, I think. I don't really,
Yeah. It's like the Harlem Globetrotters.
That's a little
Yeah, but
bit. That's a little
baseball.
bit less of my area of expertise. If you want to talk about
There's
real
dudes in
ball,
capes and
call
on
me.
stilts.
It's very
It's a lot of fun.
No, I went. I liked fanfare. I like how the people. I like watching the people, and then everyone. It gets kind of weird to me. It's like kind of creepy, and I'm like, this is cool. This is scary.
Yes, I agree. I love I love the unity. I also one thing I love about being a Dodger fan is that we don't boo our own team, and we don't so I really don't like when I see I saw Yankees World Series, and I'm sure you'll get a lot of hate for this, but I just don't like to see that. I don't like to see it's your team. Cheer for them. You can say if you want to, you can say shit about the other team, but like just cheer for your team.
For sure. I do think I could probably get into soccer. Have
Yeah?
you been to a soccer game?
Not in a long time. I think that would be very fun.
I understand people's
live.
reservations. Like it's a long game. And sometimes nobody scores anything because of how the game's designed. But like that doesn't. When you're there, we when I was with Isimo 4 or 5 years ago, we went to a soccer game when America played Mexico. It was bonkers. It's like so easy to get wrapped up in that. There was a couple British guys spouting their team for some reason. I was like, neither of them are here. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
I think it would
sports.
be fun. I also again very hot, but which sports aren't?
Well, I think soccer guys are like the most in shape athletes of them all, right?
Right, they're running the most.
They're running the most.
I think just watching that alone is a feat to be admired. Where you go like, I don't even know if I could run that field.
I know. I'm like, can you guys make this like half the size, dude? I got something to do. And like, that was the thing that like I went to go watch the Angels game, and I was like, oh, the fanfare is gonna be fun. And then everyone's like, they're kind of dumb. Everyone was kind of dumb, dude. The Angels, you know how
Again, we're talking about Angels fans.
I'm talking about Angels
I'm not
fans.
saying anything.
I'm talking about them. I was there watching them. They were trying to start the wave, and they were like, it was the section that was like next to all the rocks or whatever it is,
Yeah,
in, like,
yeah,
the middle
little water feature.
Yeah, exactly. And like they were going the wrong way. They were like setting the
Going
wave to
towards
the
the
rock.
Water.
Yeah.
I know. Look, here's the thing. I won't do the wave. I get very upset about it. People go to games with me and they're like, you love every part. I scream the players' names. I I know all their walk-up music, and
That's
then
hilarious.
the wave happens, and I'm like, hell no.
Yeah, you're like
I'm not doing
lame.
that.
I didn't do it as a kid, and my dad would be like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Nobody's gonna notice." So when I was a kid, I was like the shortest one of my brothers. I was always like really short. I'm like, unless you put me on your shoulders, which is gonna scare the shit out of me because I was afraid of heights. So I never participated in that. I always wanted to do the noisemakers though. I just liked the way they worked. I was mostly just fascinated with the mechanics of it. Those like grinding gear ones.
Oh yeah.
I got one once, and then when I got home, I took it apart and did not remember how to put it back together. So.
Right.
In Japan, they have like these bat necklaces that they
clack
use for
together.
noisemakers.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
I think they have something similar at like Dodgers, but it's just those inflatable things.
Yeah.
You gotta buy
Yeah,
two.
when I was a kid, I was never allowed to have no noisemakers. Nothing that makes sounds. My
Troublemakers
parents
was
would.
more like it.
My parents would not let me have that stuff.
How are we doing? I just
We're
realized
good. We got to
I
move
never
to the
read-
next card, though.
Yeah. What is something about you as an adult that would surprise you when you were a kid?
I think about this all the time. I think, you guys know that I have worked in spirituality and stuff for a long time. And I think, inner child stuff is really important. And so I do a lot of meditation. I do a lot of work on that. And I always come back to one thing, which is when I was a kid, all I wanted to do was swim every day. And I didn't care, why or what, how. And so, I think that, and I do most days get to go, and I think about it all the time when I'm driving to the pool or to a beach or wherever I'm going, that I think little me would be like so proud of that I kept that and that I still do that. And it's also the main thing that provides me peace in my life. So I feel like to some extent, it's not like, it would surprise me, but I do think that when you love something when you're a kid, that just tends to go away. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really happy that I've been able to keep that. And there have been periods in my life where I didn't have it, but for the most part.
I feel like COVID was big for that. like people reconnecting to their like and like being like, what am I even like? Why do I even do all this stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it was for me too. Like I've gotten a pretty good job since then, and so like I like started doing all this stuff like that. Like I bought myself my parents could never afford to buy me rollerblades when I was a kid. So when it got like I have rollerblades that are all this stuff on them that I can't even I can't even jump on the damn things. But they have like grind plates and all the stuff I wanted, and like the wheels light up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just like
totally.
Purely for my young self.
Yeah, and I've always like been into fashion and that kind of thing, and I've found ways to like find cool clothes and get cool stuff. And like I just feel like a lot of the times we're so hard on ourselves about like my younger self wanted me to be da da da
Right.
and this, and it's like those little things are the things that really bring you joy.
Right.
And in high school, I started collecting wind-ups because I was so fascinated with them. But like vintage ones, I don't like the plastic ones. The noise sounds annoying. But the metal ones, the way they work, I don't take them apart anymore because it's very difficult to put them back together. I have like a small collection of 5 of them, and I in recent years I've bought stuff like that. Like I have a cape and a lightsaber. It's fun.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
But for my answer for the question, honestly, it sounds silly, but I think coming out as queer, I didn't do that till like 2017. And it's not, honestly, it was more of a discovery than it was like it's not that I didn't know about myself. It's more just like that I think internally wanted to acknowledge that was what I was feeling because, you grow up in a Latino household, in a Latino community, predominantly Latino community, and it's like people tease you about even the implication of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I think you get no, I don't want to say that because that's not true. I think that you acknowledge the teasing a little bit more when you're straight because it feels like an insult. Where when you're actually a queer person, it's like it feels more like it feels different, I think, because they're not, on one end, they're making fun of the thing they think is the worst thing about you, and on the other end, they're making fun of, it's the same thing, but they're making fun of who you are, and like it just reads different. And so it was, for me, it was a thing where I didn't have like an epiphany moment necessarily. It was more just like over time I gradually recognized that like I didn't care about those things as much as other people did. And then the more I started to deconstruct it, the more I realized like, what if I do have those feelings? And I look back and I acknowledged it. And so that's something that I think like, I do think in high school, at least the first couple of years, I was very like, similar mentality we talked about before was like you have guy friends, you know girls, but that's not the same, stuff like that. And I think I was a lot harder on myself. I think it's mostly just because when I hit puberty, that's where my social, what do you call it? I guess detriment stood out more as an autistic person. When I was younger, like I said, all of my friends were girls, and then I got older, and it's like, it's not just what I'm starting to discover about myself, it's also like what they're discovering. And so a lot of girls did not want to be friends with me because I was a boy, and so that affected like how I engage. I started hanging out a lot more with guys, and that influenced my thoughts on like women and girls. And I think that was something that affected me for a long time in my earlier teen development. And it wasn't until like just before out of high school I started to pick up on it. I was like, I don't really want to be that person.
Yeah. I think also stand up again, like you realize, I mean, if you look at comments on any of my videos, like 90% of them are you're fat. And that's fine because to me, I go like, yeah, that's so easy. Mm-hmm. And like, do you know how hard it is to actually write something, videotape it, clip it up, put captions and get 2,000 views on it or whatever? Like, so it's like the same thing with like people being, homophobic or whatever. It's like, yeah, like you took the easy way. That's the easy thing to make fun of someone for, the easy joke or whatever, because you can't connect, get to know someone, name one thing you really don't like about them or whatever, you know.
It's boring, and it's like
Yeah.
that's the thing that I always like. I get into a lot of online debates about what constitutes dark humor, because in my head, like, there's two kinds. There's actual like legitimate like dark themed jokes, and then there's just people being shitty because they think it's funny. And I think that that's lazy. You know, I think personally, I don't know how you feel about it. I think one of, in my opinion, the best examples of actual dark humor is Anthony Jeselnik.
Of course, but, and I don't mean this as an insult to him because I think he's very good at it.
Yeah.
The people that are inspired by him, the comics that try to do what he does, tend to be very not that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's sometimes like the style of Jeselnik is like, I don't know, it's taken on by the wrong people or something, where it's
Right.
like, you have to actually have dark in here. You can't just like be dark out your mouth.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
No, I absolutely get it. This is what I debate with people about, where it's like, I don't think that the people trying to emulate, Daniel Tosh and Anthony Jeselnik and Bo Burnham understand what the point is of what they're doing. You know? When
Right.
Anthony Jeselnik is doing it, in my opinion, it's like the joke is. Imagine people thought like this, not, oh, I think like this, isn't that funny, you know?
I also think for most comedy, and maybe I could be wrong, the joke is we're all going to die one day. And so I think that is pretty much every joke. And maybe other people feel differently, but I feel like that's pretty much, I mean, that's why I get on stage. I don't know what Jeselnik thinks, but I bet the core of a lot of his jokes are, we're all going to die one day. And that's just like the cosmic joke or whatever, the one we're all telling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never thought about
See
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, think about it.
Yeah, I will for sure.
Yeah. It's also, I don't know, I'm not saying you can't be light or silly or anything, but I do think that it's, why else laugh or why else
Right.
whatever? Like, we're all just trying to get through, so because one day we won't be able to.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's get that meter moving.
All right.
Oh yeah, finally into the
Pink.
pink one.
That's right.
These ones tend to, ironically, get very introspective.
How's that ironic?
Oh, because I feel like in this one we kind of got there on our own.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, I forced it. It's okay.
No, it's
No,
good.
it's good.
We
If
tend
anything, it was
to
more
lean a
genuine,
little bit
yeah.
that way.
This is the same question as the blue. I swear it's not on purpose.
Okay.
I used to shuffle these.
You don't have to apologize to me. It's your show.
Oh, apologize to me.
What are you most phobic about?
Huh? Phobic?
Phobic.
Oh, good God.
Why? What was your first thought?
I didn't know what you said.
Oh my God, there's so many
Like
things.
actual
and I
phobia?
don't mean like
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Because I always like to ponder what the intent of the question is. Because I got these from a board game.
I know, but it's funny to wonder questions you wrote. I wonder about questions you wrote.
I think for me, the true answer is that I'm most scared of my own body. And you can read into that all of the things that, however, self-hatred or misogyny or any of the other things. And I don't mean it in a way where I'm like, phobic of people like me in broad swaths or anything. I'm talking about myself.
Right.
I think like right now, especially I'm working on like health stuff right now. For me, what scares me is like a coffee with like whipped cream on it, or you know what I mean, like that like eating disorder type of food where you're like, I couldn't possibly have that. It has way too much sugar in it. That's the kind of stuff that's like I'm really trying to unbreak and be like, hey, you're okay. You can have a thing,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can be a little bit soft with yourself. That's another thing I like really, really struggle with is softness. I want everyone to be as like hard and going after it and all the things as I am. And like, I take, even like my chat GPT will be like, hey, slow down, girl. Like,
Right.
chill, put on a sweater, sit on your couch, have a glass of water. And like all of that, like self-care stuff really makes me go like, oh yeah, like I need fucking water. And it's like, what? Everybody needs water. Why are you like that with yourself?
Yeah, I understand that completely.
I think mine, I mean, if I'm taking it literally, probably my most constant phobia is falling. I have a thing, it's called bastophobia. It's different from acrophobia. Like, I don't like heights. But it's because I'm afraid of. So I get a lot of intrusive thoughts. One of my main intrusive thoughts is jumping over stuff. That's one that I have to. Going to the mall is incredibly frustrating because people think that holding onto the rail helps, but it's like now I'm peering over the thing I'm afraid of the whole time that I'm up there.
You mean falling
like
over
jumping
stuff?
off of something?
Like no, yeah, like the
perverse, the urge to jump off of the ledge or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, like the way I've explained it in the past is like it feels like muscle memory, and then the more I think about it, the more my body feels like it wants to do it.
I think that's common. If you get on top of a tall building or something, I feel that where I'm like, there's something in me telling me to jump.
I think it's where
I know it's doing that. I'm not going to do it.
Right,
and then the more you think about it, you go, why am I thinking about jumping?
Yeah,
You guys should go to therapy. No, I'm just joking.
I am in there.
We're working on it.
When I'm at the top of a tall building, I'm like, this is nice. What are we having for lunch?
You don't feel like a little
I'm
thing
not
in
like,
your...
do you want to jump right now?
You don't have that, like...
You've never like wanted to
in your
spit
brain?
over the ledge or something?
How about-
I
Spit
feel
over
like
the ledge for sure. I'll throw
I feel like
rocks
that's where
off
that
of
comes
a
from.
cliff.
People
I
want to
think the
test
same
the
thing
distance.
to throw something. But I also feel like if you've ever been on one of those things where... I'm sorry, I'm like not talking to the mic. Where the ground is...
Clear
glass.
Yeah.
That's where you feel it the
can't do
most.
this,
where you
yeah.
go like, oh, I could fall right now. I could fall. That's all you're thinking is I could fall. And it's like, but you're not falling. Why is your brain doing that?
Well, because it's like a safety mechanism for when you could fall.
It's the same thing with jumping.
Right. Okay.
You go, hey, don't jump. And then you go, why am I thinking about jumping?
Okay, so it's a don't jump thing.
It starts off that way.
Okay.
This goes back to the conversation about intrusive thoughts, where it's like the more I think about it, the more it's like...
I understand now. I understand that thought now of being like, oh, don't jump, and then being like, why am I even thinking about jumping?
Yeah.
And then it's like you're thinking about jumping, but it's not that you're thinking about jumping.
Well, it's not that you're not thinking about it either.
Okay.
So that's why
I get it.
That's why I compare it to muscle memory, where it's like it's not that I want to do it; it's that my body is imagining what that will feel like.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also
Mine's
think
telling you no.
what we learned in this podcast is that I'm also autistic.
This is what the meter really means.
No, I feel that too. Do you dream of falling?
Yeah. Well, no, because as soon as it happens, I wake up.
Same. Well, kind of. When I'm falling asleep, and now this makes me wonder, is that why we call it falling asleep? But when I'm falling asleep, I will have a, brief flash of a dream or something. I don't know, that like in between where I am walking downstairs and I fall. And usually I kick my leg and I wake up. And then about 5 minutes later, fall asleep for real. But I'm like, why is this my thing? Like, why is that always my thing? And it's not like I'm not really scared of falling or heights or anything. Like, I'll do stuff. I'm not like afraid of it. But apparently, subconsciously, I'm very terrified of it.
I always say that dreams are like your brain, like preparing yourself for things that you're like, you don't want to fall. You don't, you're like mentally preparing yourself and being like, putting yourself in those situations. That's why you have bad dreams and stuff like that.
I have terrible nightmares. Julia once told me that the reason that, because sometimes I'll have a dream about something and it'll be about my husband, or say, I probably shouldn't use him as an example. Let's say it's about, whatever, we'll use him. You're okay, right? Me and him getting in an argument, but it'll be someone else, not him. Like,
I know what you mean.
You know exactly what I mean. Everybody's had this. And Julia was like, do you think that's your subconscious exploring how you would feel if someone else treated you that way instead of him? And it wasn't about him. Sorry, I'm making it about him. But I I think that's a really interesting way to explore things.
Yeah.
Because you go like, oh, well, do I let my husband treat me differently than I would let, whoever's the stand-in, the stranger, the other friend, the person or whatever. Or if something gets taken away from you, if it's like you don't have the safety, the security of the husband, how do you feel now if a stranger is talking to you that way,
Interesting.
And so I think that's like a really interesting thing to explore as well in dreams. And like you said, we got introspective.
Yeah, we did.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, it's been
Yeah. Do that.
great.
Yeah. This has been great.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for.
Did you
being
promote
here.
any shows? We didn't do that at the
I'm
top.
so
did we?
sorry.
Gosh,
I didn't.
I have so many shows.
At Lisa Chinnoux.
Yeah.
All the things.
That's
Yeah.
my handle, at Lisa Chinnoux. And the main thing I need you to come to is New York City, November 9th, 9 p.m. at Radagast Beer Garden. And that is Chatterbox Comedy Night. It's our first Chatterbox Comedy Night in New York.
Right.
Freaking city, okay? So come on out. It's going to be really fun. We have a really fun lineup.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bye.